All right. Hi, everyone, and welcome to another Forward webinar. Today, we're going to be talking about hostess battles, and we're super lucky because we have LuLaRoe Nikki Dirks here. She's not Nikki Dirks anymore. She just got married, so congratulations, Nikki. So, Nikki, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So I joined LuLaRoe I officially launched in March of this year. It's been kind of a different experience for me because I'm kind of out here by myself. The rest of the team, or a lot of the team, is more up in Northeast, and so I'm in Iowa doing my own thing. But it's been great because I still have a lot of help from you guys. Um, my time is very limited because I do have 4 kids, identical twin girls that are 21 months old, and then I have 2 boys that are 6 and 8, and they are very active in sports. So we're constantly running. And my new husband farms, so he is gone a lot in the fall and the spring. So that kind of brings me to why I do hostess battles. The first thing I'm going to tell you is I'm going to give you a lot of tips and tell you how I do my hostess battles. But the most important thing I think to remember is to know your audience. Not everything that I do necessarily is going to work for you. You can use the tips that I give you and make them work for your group, and that's what's going to be the most important. So make sure that you know your hostesses, your VIP group, your guests, and know what works for them, because if you take these and make them work for your group, you're going to have a lot of success instead of just following what I do. So the reason that I do the hostess battles is because I don't have a lot of time. I just don't. When I first started, I was doing individually hosted pop-ups online in a private group, and they just weren't doing very well for me. I was doing, a couple $100, and for me, taking that time away from my family to upload all of the albums, answer questions, and then not to sell very much, I just didn't feel like it was working for me. So I had seen in some of the groups that people talked about the hostess battles, and I was kind of intrigued. So I did a little bit more research and just kind of went with it and decided to try this. I will say I only do hostess battles. So if somebody wants to host an online party, they have to do a battle. I don't do individually hosted. Now that's what I do because that's what works for me. If you still want to do individually hosted ones, awesome. But I've chose just to only do the individual or the hostess battles because that's where I feel like my time is best spent. Let's see. Sorry, I wrote notes so I could keep track of what I wanted to say. So by doing the hostess battle, it's like doing 4 to 6 events in one. I only have to upload everything one time instead of times for each of these events. I only have to pull orders one time. I only have to invoice one time. I only have to ship one time. So for me, that's what works best for my schedule. Am I supposed to do something, Thea?
You're good. We can see you.
Okay. Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Okay. I just wanted to make sure. So I only have to do all those things one time instead of for each individual sale doing them multiple times. So for me, that works great. That isn't necessarily for everybody because maybe some people like to do a smaller sale. They might only like to pull 20 items at a time and invoice for 20 items. So if, this might not be something that works for you if you don't have the time, because for me, it is a big chunk of time to pull 120 pieces, to invoice, 80 invoices. So it is time consuming to do it all at once. But for me, it's easier for me to set one block of time to do those things. So that's another reason why I've been doing this. Another thing that I do is I do my hostess battles in my shopping group. It saves me from posting yet again another sale because I'm giving these items up for sale to my VIP in addition to the guests from the hostess battle. Another bonus, then now these people are part of my group. So I have just added new people, and hopefully by offering them, a good selection, they will keep shopping and stay in my group. It's part of the goal is getting new people in the group. For getting my hostesses, the first time that I did a hostess battle, I did advertise in my group looking for hostesses for my battle, but I did also kind of handpick a couple of friends that I knew would do a good job of posting and being interactive in the event. A lot of my people, because I live in a small town or in a rural area, they are repeat. They may be invited by Katie to this hostess battle, and the next hostess battle they might be invited by Renee, and then they may decide to be a hostess in the next hostess battle. So I really wanted to set the tone in that first one that I did as to what I wanted the vibe to be in my events. So if I don't have enough hostesses, I will advertise in my group like, hey, I need 2 more hostesses. And I usually don't have any problems filling those spots. I have had a time where I've asked a friend to fill in because I was short one, but I don't normally have to do that. So if you have some awesome girlfriends, keep them on standby to fill in for you sometime. I usually have 3 to 5 hostesses for each battle. And obviously the more hostesses you have, usually the better it's going to do. So for once I get ready to start my event, I create the event 5 to 7 days ahead of time. With doing it online, I don't feel like they need much more advance notice than that. It's not like they have to cut, a couple hours out of their night to go to the party that's open. I keep mine personally open for 24 hours, but you can keep yours open however long, works for you that you normally do. But I keep mine open for 24 hours. So I think that's plenty of time for them to carve out 15 minutes to shop if that's what they, if they want to. So I don't think they need much more than a week's notice. Once I have the event created, I send a private message, like a group message to all the hostesses, welcoming them and telling them what my expectations are or what they can expect from me and then what I expect from them. What I expect from them to invite their friends, to be excited, to introduce themselves and say why they invited their friends because they love LuLaRoe, of course. And what they can expect from me would be free clothes. I do, in the past, I've done, my hostess rewards are 10%, but this works for any hostess reward model, obviously. If you do 1 for every 10, this works no matter what you do. So just do what you do. I do extra. In the past, I've done 25 extra for most sales, done 15 extra for being the most interactive. So if they post the most in the event, and then 10 for the most check-ins when the event starts. This time I have changed it. I have a hostess battle next Tuesday, and I am offering them $25 for the most for the most sales because I want to be a battle. So they want to get the most sales, but I am doing free leggings of their choice for each hostess that posts daily a picture of them wearing LuLaRoe or a styling picture. So instead of getting memes of whatever, the funny memes, I want them to be posting more meaningful things in the event so that their guests can really see what, what there is to offer for clothing. I obviously post in there too, but I like it coming from the guests or from the hostesses because that just seems to get the guests more excited and interested. Another thing that I'm thinking that I'm going to do is since I do these in my VIP group, I haven't been doing anything with what would be considered the rewards for the other VIP shoppers. So I think for October and November, or at least October, I think I'm going to do whatever that 10% would be on those VIP shoppers, prorating it and giving it to the battle hostesses as an extra. So in the past, I may have 50% of my sales be from VIP. And, if I have a $4,000 sale, that's $200 divided between potentially 3 hostesses. So they could walk away with, a decent chunk. So that's something that I think I'm going to offer to them just as an extra incentive. So thank you for hosting. let's see. I have just I wrote down some other things that I've done. Prior to using Shop the Row, I had them include their hostess team when they commented sold. That's how I tabulate how much each person has in sales. Now I just have them include it in the notes when they claim. If they don't, it's not a big deal. They just send me a private message or tell me, and I can add them to the list for that hostess. So no big deal. Another benefit that I've added to being a battle hostess is that I have been using a Shop the Row link. So I've been giving them pre-access to the sale. So they get to shop beforehand. So kind of like hosting an in-home party. Come early, you get to check out the inventory early. So I've been giving it to them a couple hours early, just asking them, please don't claim anything that you're not going to pay for if you don't earn it free. But they've been pretty receptive to that and like that too. I try to have at least 100 new pieces of inventory for the sale. The new stuff gets people excited. It keeps the new people that come to the group to check it out excited, to see a lot of new stuff and a big inventory. So I always try to make sure I have a lot of new stuff. I only do it twice a month. I don't do a lot of online sales in my group. So this is kind of my opportunity where I pile up what I have new and offer it to them. If the event is too quiet, like if I have not active hostesses, which, I mean, let's face it, that happens. Sometimes, no matter how much coaching we do, they just don't want to participate. So if I have that going on and I want to get some activity going in the event beforehand, I'll do a giveaway. Sometimes I just do them just because. I did a giveaway for leggings and one that I had 5 hostesses, and I did a giveaway for each hostess. So I gave away 5 pairs of leggings, and that was my biggest sale. I did about $5,000 on that sale. Usually I'll do a roll call before when the event starts in my VIP group to make sure that those people are there ready to go, and I'll usually do a giveaway there for some Lula Cash to be used that night. The last time I did it, I did Lula Cash for a guest of each hostess. It's kind of give them a little more incentive to shop. I make sure in my group that I provide all of what they can expect from me. So what my shipping costs are, when the sale ends, when they can expect an invoice, when they can expect to ship. So it kind of cuts down on the questions, since there probably are a lot of new people in the group because they've been invited by a hostess. One thing that I've had happen is I'd had a bad experience with buy sell trade. Somebody shared the event with a buy sell trade, and I had a bunch of people and they're just not so for, obviously the unicorn leggings. And now I ask my hostesses, please do not share my group in a buy sell trade group for the event. The last thing that I kind of wanted to say is just make sure you treat your hostesses like gold. I think even online hostesses, you want to do everything that you can to make it easy for them. Be gracious, be excited, be generous. That was one of the things that I was watching on another webinar, I believe, and that's what they were talking about is your hostesses are your advertisers. Treat them right. So I've found with doing as much as I can for even these online hostesses, it gets more people excited to be a hostess. And I guess that's all I have written down. Does anybody have any questions?
This is awesome. Thank you so much. I have some questions. All right. So you say you do these giveaways for the guests. What do you do? Do you just ask them to post? Like what prompts the giveaway?
So when I do the roll call one, obviously it's just here. When I do in the group, the one I had seen shared somewhere was a unicorn name one. So it was, whatever. So that was one of the ones I've done. I've done post pictures of you wearing your LuLaRoe. If you don't own any yet, post a picture of something you like, find a picture of something you like that you want to have. What are you most excited? What style are you most excited to see? Just kind of anything all over the board.
Okay. And anyone is free to ask a question. You can unmute yourself. And if you have trouble unmuting, there might be like a hand raising option or something, and I can unmute you. So when you set up your event, do you do any posting in the event during the week, or is that all on the hostesses to take care of?
I definitely do post in there, but I try, and do it when there's a lull or quiet time. I'll post in there. Sometimes I post in there encouraging, tagging the hostesses, encouraging them to, like right now, I just created my event for my hostess battle next Tuesday today. I asked them multiple times, please, once you invite your friends, give a shout out, say hello, tell them, why you've invited them. Nobody's done that yet. So I will probably, if nobody's done anything by tomorrow, hop on and either in my private message with them say, hey guys, hop on and, let your guests know why you've invited them, or I'll call them out and just in a nice way and just tag them and say, hey, Katie, do you want to share with your friends and family why you invited them here today? And they're usually always really receptive, so I don't have a problem. But I'll post styling ideas if I try and fill in the gaps. I try to encourage them to join my group so they're already there when it starts, so they're not in the event and nobody else is paying attention going, where's the sale? What am I supposed to do? So I try to give reminders like, this is where the sale is going to be. This is, I try to, post what styles I carry, stuff like that, to try and encourage them to ask questions, be interested.
I wrote down notes. That's why I'm checking. I really like what you said about how you set your expectations. I think that's a really a big key point, is to let everyone know what to expect for your party, and to know, what kind of I'm winging it here. What kind of do you ever get any types of questions back from that? Like, do they expect something different from you, or is it really clear?
Just with regular online sales and VIP group, I feel like not everybody, I try to lay out my expectations to save myself some work, but a lot of people just don't read. They don't follow, they don't follow directions. I think I'd said that before on the tip that I given. I try to redirect them to the post that I made, giving them the expectation, like what they could expect from me, so that they know next time, hopefully, go look, go look. If you can't find it, I'm more than happy to help answer your questions. But if there's information there that's really easy to find, go look yourself before you ask. You'll save both of us some time by doing that. So I try to, encourage them to help themselves. But that, I get a lot of people that just don't. I haven't gotten my invoice yet. When are you going to invoice? I invoice within 24 hours. And then I also post as soon as I'm done invoicing, so everybody knows now is when you can say, I didn't get my invoice, and I'll check. But until then, you don't have to worry about it because I haven't sent them. So no big deal.
Do you tell the hostesses ahead of time about the different things that they could win by posting?
I do. I try to, in the past, like this is the first time I've really done anything different, but it was because I finally thought of something. It seems like I always know that I want to do something different, but by the time the next sale comes up, I haven't thought of anything. So I just have to go with what I've done in the past. So I do definitely let them know that they get their 10%. They'll get, the most, or the battle part of it, the most sales, but there'll be something else. I leave it open that there will be more, but so if I come up with an idea, I can change it. But so I think that hopefully this is going to get them to be more interactive. I have 3 hostesses in this next one that I don't even know. I've never met any of them, but they're super excited. So I'm kind of excited to hopefully get some new people in my group, and we'll see how it goes. I have tons of new inventory, so that's exciting. I think I'll have a huge over 100-piece order coming yet too, probably before the sale. So I'll have lots and lots and lots of new stuff for them. So I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be awesome. But one of the things that I had started with was saying that you have to know your people, because this model doesn't work for everybody. You may have a group that is not receptive to sharing with a hostess battle. They may be, this is our territory. They may not like that. So if that's the case, do it in a private group. There's nothing wrong with doing that. You just have to mold, to what works for your people. My people don't care. The reason I like doing it in my VIP group is I make sure I have a lot of new inventory. This way everybody gets first dibs on it. I don't have hostesses that are like, well, you had 2 before mine and now I have all the crap left. Everybody gets first dibs. Everybody gets an opportunity to shop the new stuff. My VIP group, they're happy because they get the opportunity to shop it first. So I haven't had people complain. But, like I said, you might not have hostesses that like doing it that way. So it just depends.
And how do you pick the person who's the most interactive?
That was a question that Bethany had asked. And the way that I did that was I felt it was pretty obvious for the most part who was posting the most in the event. So that's how I usually dictate who's the most interactive. My last one, I had somebody comment hello to everybody that checked in for the event on the roll call that wasn't already on a team because she only had 3 people or something check in. I didn't count that as being interactive, so I think sometimes they take that to their own extreme or whatever. But I usually just go through and see what kind of stuff they posted in the event. Usually it's pretty obvious if somebody's posted a lot. But I have had, like Bethany said, super active people, and when it came down to it, I did just count, like how many they had. Could I have probably given it to all of them? Yeah. But I think for those ones, somebody seemed to win every category. So I felt good about that. So.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
When you counted, are you counting during the sale and the event, or are you counting? I'm like getting really specific now because I'm like, what do I do?
It can depend on what you want. If you didn't specify, you can do whatever you wanted. If you did say, I think that I changed my wording to during the Facebook event. So that was not in my group, the sale that was run in my group, then it was just in the event. But because like I said, I had somebody that was tagging one person in 18 maxi skirts. How do you even count that? Because part of it was kind of actually annoying because it was clogging up the news feed with all these skirts. But, so all the extra smalls and smalls were now in my news feed. But so it just kind of depends on what you want to do. Like I said, if you feel like they're all being super interactive, there's nothing wrong with giving them all or saying it was a tie and you guys each get $10 or something.
Yeah, it's like $10. Who cares, really? Yeah. I think I'm going the easy route, but yeah.
Yeah, and they'll all be, I'm sure, gracious for you being generous. So there's nothing wrong with that.
And I really liked your idea of having the hostesses post every single day to get a pair of leggings.
Yeah.
It's really awesome.
Wait, so did you say every single day to get a pair of leggings? One pair of leggings for the whole?
Okay.
So
it was.
I was like, every day, that's a lot of leggings.
Yeah, each hostess, if they posted every day a picture of themselves wearing their LuLaRoe or a styling photo, that they would get a free pair of leggings that they would get to choose from the sale. And they'll get free dibs because they'll get the Shop the Row link, early. So they truly will get to pick out a pair of leggings of their choice early for doing that. And that's, my reward instead of doing most check-ins or most interactive. This is just encouraging everybody to be interactive and rewarding all of them for being interactive. So we'll see how it goes. This is the first time I'm doing it. So nobody's posted today. So we'll see.
Anyone else have any questions?
Well, I just want to chime in and say, since I'm obviously asking a lot of questions, if people are listening, I just tried basically everything that Nikki advised. I contacted her and said, tell me how to do this. And she just laid it out how she just did for you guys. And I've had the best sales that I've had since actually my launch. My launch was big. And this sale was, I think, 129 pieces. My launch was 136. But these pieces were more expensive because of Carly's. So this is like the biggest sale I've ever had, and it worked really well. And I did exactly what Nikki did, just in picking my hostesses, like hand selecting them and getting people who are have a big group of friends who like LuLaRoe and who are really interactive, and they crushed it. So it works. I think it works, at least. I hope it works forever.
Yeah, and I will say my last one that I did wasn't, I mean, and I'm sure some people would say, oh my gosh, I would be thrilled with a $2,000 sale. My sale was only $2,000. It was the worst online sale that I've had since probably April. But they're not all going to be that, awesome. I had 3 hostesses. They weren't super interactive. It was over Labor Day week, and for some reason didn't seem like it was a good week. I had done 2 other things earlier that week with a leggings roulette and an outfit sale. So I don't know if people were shopped out by then. I don't know what it was, but it was still $2,000. It wasn't like it was horrible by any means at all. So, I mean, the model for me, and really does truly work. So I'm excited, like I said, for this next one, because I was also at a point where my inventory was low. Not low, but there were holes in my inventory, so I don't know if that played a part in it. So I've gotten a lot of stuff filled in and a lot of new stuff, so I'm really excited.
So I'm sure you probably also hype everyone up by telling them how much you ordered.
Yeah. I got new boxes today, take a picture, post, or what new items I got. Definitely. That's where I got burned last time, was I had shared some sneak peeks, and those sneak peeks ended up in a buy sell trade, and I had 165 new people in my group wanting whatever I had, that sale or whatever. And
One pair of leggings.
I personally really appreciate my group and their loyalty. Not that they don't shop with other people, but they're just super good shoppers. They're super helpful to each other. A lot of local people for me. I probably have half my orders online picked up. I just have great following on my group. I like them being able to get, a pair of high heel leggings and not having people from, these buy sell trade groups to compete with, because that's going to drive those people out of my group. If they can't come in there and shop easily and they feel like the competition is just way too much, they're just going to quit, so I take a lot of, I don't necessarily know if I want to say pride in, offering these people stuff that, they don't even know that high heel leggings exist, and they see them and they just think, oh, those are so cool, those are the kind of people that I like to get the stuff. So for me, the buy sell trade thing was, I was really upset about it. It's not a big deal, it's over and done with, but I definitely make sure to include that in my directions. Please do not share my group, because I like my group being able to get the opportunity to get those things.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. That's happened to me in a party, and it's a bummer when people come rushing in, but they're really next thing on like 3 items.
Well, yeah, and like the thing is like I can think of, like, when I get these things, I can think of people in my VIP group that I know would love this. I'm like, but I like to be fair and give everybody the opportunity to get it. Well, I'm kind of learning that sometimes it's okay to take that item and just give it to your really good customers, because like I have, someone that really likes owls, and there's nothing wrong with just being like, hey, I have these owl leggings. Would you like them? Because then that creates a, relationship with them too that they really appreciate. So I don't always save everything from my VIP group anymore, to be fair, because I like being able to make somebody's day with something awesome that they really wanted.
That's great. Okay. Any other questions out there? Bethany? All right. Thank you so much, Nikki. This has been awesome. I think we learned a lot, and get on those parties.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thanks.